Hello everybody, it's Valerie from Shalebrook Handcrafted Soap in Nova Scotia, and today I'm going to show you one way I do hot process soap. There's many ways you can do hot process, and I've done a few of them, and this is just one way I'll show you today. And so I'm doing a 4-pound batch of Coconut Dream, and my oils are at 169 Fahrenheit, and my lye is at 167 Fahrenheit, and I have the Crockpot on low. All my oils and butters are in there, and some kale and clay, and I'm going to just pour in my lye. And so I basically use just enough water for my lye, and I think my lye was 8.6, and I used about 8 ounces of water and 2 ounces of aloe vera juice. And then I have 9 ounces of coconut milk, I think it is, that I'm going to add now, and that's nice and hot. And then I have coconut milk I'm going to add afterwards too. Now just excuse the noise here. See that that's starting to thicken up right away. I'm just going to bring that to medium thick trace, and then I'm going to cover it. You can see that's had a pretty good trace there, and I'm just going to wipe my hands and cover this up. And I'm going to keep a close eye on that, and I'm going to time for about 5 minutes, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, so that's been about 2 minutes, and it was going to volcano over the top, so I'm just stirring that down, and I turned it, my crock pot was on warm, and I just turned it down to off. And So you saw I brought it to trace and then 2 minutes. I thought it would go 5 minutes, but it didn't, so. Okay, so I'm just going to cover that again. And actually that looks pretty close to potato Vaseline stage, but I'm just going to keep an eye on that now. So sometimes things can happen pretty quick when you soap at those temperatures, depending on your crock pot and things like that. So I'm just going to put the crock back on this, crock lid back on there, but I'm not even going to put that dish towel on it because it's, well, I do that a lot, don't I? Sorry about that. So I'm just going to keep an eye on it now, and that was 2 minutes, and I'll time that for 3 minutes. So, okay, so we're back, and it's been 3 minutes, and I'm just going to take the temperature on that. And that's at about 200 and probably 215 Fahrenheit. So it's looking pretty good. And that crock pot's on off right now. So that looks pretty good. Just going to leave that about another 3 minutes. And we'll check then. Okay, so it's been about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and as you can see that was starting to volcano again. And that's about 219 Fahrenheit. So I'm just going to move the crock pot over here because that's almost at Vaseline stage there now. And I'll just take that out. And just going to whisk that a bit. And I would say that's pretty well Vaseline stage. So I'm going to add my sugar water there right now, and I'll be right back. So this is a 4-pound batch, so I have 4 tablespoons of sugar. And I think it's at 3 tablespoons of water, and I heat that up hot. And I'm just going to stir that in. Whisk it in, I guess, with this whisk. The thing about this, you have to be careful. You really do end up losing a fair amount of moisture with this. I'm just going to put the cover back on, and I'm going to go get my hot coconut milk. So this has a lot of coconut milk in it, so this amount that I'm going to put in now, it's 5 ounces of coconut milk that I ground up coconut meat and made myself. And this will go in, and I'll cover it up with some plastic wrap, and I'll let that set for probably about 3 minutes. Then I'm going to come back and add my yogurt and sodium lactate, and stir it up, and you'll see that. Now with adding coconut milk, I really like to whisk it up good, because if you don't, I have found that sometimes it can cook. So I just like to add it hot and just keep whisking it or stirring it, whatever you want to do. This was done at 38% lye liquid. Now I'm going to cover that up. That's why I like wearing gloves, because I like to clean off my beaters. And that's all Vaseline. So done pretty quick in the crock. And I'll cover that over and I'll come back in about 3 minutes, and I'm going to add the yogurt and sodium lactate. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes, and I'm just going to add my sodium lactate. Been trying different things with the sodium lactate, adding it at different times and in different ways, and I'm going to add it along with my yogurt. This was at room temperature, and I just warmed it up a bit. And this is my yogurt, and I used 1 tablespoon per pound, and a 4-pound batch, there was 4 tablespoons. You can see how loose that is already before adding that. You want to get this stirred up really good, because you don't want that yogurt to cook and have little spots in your soap. So you can see, pretty pourable right now. And we're just going to, so I'm going to stir that in, make sure it's all in good. I'm going to recover it and give it 5 minutes, and I'm going to check the pH on this. Okay, hello, it's been 5 minutes, and I just took a bit of the batter out and mixed it with some water, and I have my McClary nagel strips, and I'm going to just check the pH. I like to count to 20 to 30 seconds will give you a true, from what I've read, will give you a true reading of the pH. So what I do is I just take a tiny bit of batter and dip the spoon in, shake it off, mix it with some water, and put the strip in it. And then I'll check it with the package. Okay, so I'm going to check it with the package, and that's a 10, a little bit over a 10, but good to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add I have maple syrup and my fragrance, which is, the fragrance is sweet coconut, 3 ounces, and 1 ounce of rice flour shea. Those are heated up. So you can see that was, I'll check my time after for the cooking time, but I think that might have been, as far as cooking, but then you have the waiting time, about 8 minutes or 8 or 10 minutes, I guess. So I'm just gonna, so you can see just after waiting how loose that is. Going to add the maple syrup. Now the fragrance oil does thicken it up sometimes, so we'll see how this goes. And you can still work with it. Okay, so I'm just going to go over and get my mold. I'll be right back. I have my hanger tool over there. I'm going to try to do a type of butterfly swirl with this. So I got my pitcher filled with hot water and my spoon is in it, so it's hot. Just going to stir this mic up a bit before I get ready to pour. I'm just going to pour that out. Pretty pourable stuff. And every formula will work different. I have found it to work different. So that was done at 38% lye liquid. And I don't discount for the sodium lactate or the yogurt or the tablespoons of water that I add. To my sugar. And I don't discount the water I add to my colors. And the yogurt, when I added the yogurt, that was just room temperature. That's a pretty nice texture. So that was soap done at a fairly high temperature. It's about 169 and 167. And it was on warm, and then it volcaned and I turned it off and I took it out. So that's just, I'm just doing a natural base with a slight color of off-white accent in it. So I'll basically just pour some of this in here. So you see, you can get pourable batter as well as ploppable batter, and you can get nice soaps with both. And thank you to my husband, he's videotaping this again. I actually wasn't going to show the design on this, but why not? going to bang this on the floor. This soap smells so good, and it's going to be a restock all the time. I personally just love it. It is so creamy, such dense lather. And I just noticed something. I actually forgot to put my tapioca in here. I was going to put some tapioca powder. Okay, well there you go. That happens sometimes. I had about 1.5 tablespoons tapioca powder, mix it with a tablespoon of water, and you whisk it in, and it just adds a smoothness to it. But, well, there you go. Things happen. So you deal with it how you can. So let's do this swirl. And I just do circles. And just come up through the middle. And sometimes, you know, I can do a swirl and thinking I'm doing it the same way, and it doesn't always end up like that. The thing is, you can have a beautiful looking soap, and a soap cannot be a good soap. So the main thing is to make good soap, a good lather soap, a good conditioning soap, depending on what you're looking for. That's what I do. I try to do. So I'll just put this on top. Thank you for watching. This is Coconut Dream, and bye for now. I'm going to put this in the freezer, and probably within 6 hours I'll cut it, and I'll show you the video of the cut then. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now. So I'm getting cleaned up from Coconut Dream, and I just wanted to show how incredibly beautiful the lather is on this soap. Like how it feels, it's just beautiful, and so good for your skin. So you can see that it lathers up. There's some bubbles, lots and lots of bubbles, and you can see the lather coming there now. So trying to make a little mountain. Good morning. It's been overnight. I didn't get this cut in 6 hours. This is the Coconut Dream. So I went to bed, and here we are the next morning, and I'm going to cut this Coconut Dream. Remember, this cooks really fast. It was 10 minutes or less of cooking time, and then you have the waiting time added in there as well. So here we go. We're going to cut this. And I had done this trying to get a butterfly swirl, so we'll see what happens. And just very, when this darkens up a bit, it will darken up a tiny bit. You'll see, but this is just out of the fridge. And I actually don't know if you can see that tiny light swirl in there. I'm going to cut in front of the camera here. Oh, I just can't, I love this soap. I love how it feels, especially, but the smell is just super. And I'll just show you one of these. You can just see the slight design in it, but it's really good. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see that in the camera? I asked my husband, but he's not answering me, so. There we go, from Shalebrook Handcrafted Soap. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time, God willing. Have a great day. Bye-bye.